companies also, medium-sized companies also, and then smaller companies also. You can invest in mid-cap funds, large-cap funds. So these are the different level of funds that you can have in the 70% of your portfolio, and also within that 70%, 10% you can have in gold. This is something that I can tell them that okay, in initial phase of your investment journey, you don't know, you don't have the hang of it, so just go with this rule, and then eventually you can change the percentages as per your requirements, and probably you will even know about your goals as you go. So yeah, that's what I usually tell them. Yeah.
Let's look at the basket of investments available to a young person today. And Rin, can you throw some light on that? When you have a buzzing and a booming stock market, you have mutual funds which will match sometimes or not. You have fixed deposit, you have real estate. Now a lot of people are investing in gold. A lot of people are also investing in stocks abroad. With that kind of basket available to us, what is generally your advice for young people?
So what I would say is that remember, retirement or early retirement is always a goal that everybody has, right? And hence to start. So once you've taken care of your contingency planning, as Himani talked about it, which is emergency cash and life insurance, the first thing that you really need to look at is your retirement planning. And whether you like it or not, the earlier you plan, the better it is, because every 5 years that you actually delay investing for retirement, the amount that you have to invest is going to double, right? And there's a very good scheme known as the National Pension Scheme that is available to save for retirement. It's extremely low cost. You can take equity exposure out there as well, and that should help you build a good retirement corpus. Next, when it comes to your different financial goals, even if you don't have any specific goals, whenever you're investing money, so if people don't have goals, this is the next question that I ask them, that okay, for this pot of money that you're investing, how long do you think you can hold this on for? Because it's only when you know the time period that you can hold the investment that you can actually choose the right investment. And you know what? There's nothing known as the best investment. The best investment is the one that's going to suit your time frame and your risk. So for example, if you're looking at investing for periods up to 3 years, you need to look at things like fixed deposits or fixed income schemes like debt funds, for example. If you're looking at slightly longer term, which is let's say 5 to 7 years, you can consider balanced investments, which is a combination of stocks and bonds. Of course, these are balanced mutual funds that I'm talking about. And if you have a time frame of above 7 years and above, that's when you need to look at equity investments. So be very, very clear about your time period of time. There are a lot of people who are investing into equities for 2 to 3 years, looking at the last 2-year returns. But equities can be really volatile. And the thing that you should remember, we've only seen the good times right now. And public memory is always short, right? So remember that when you're investing in equity, look at long term and look at mutual funds. And why not stocks, or why not foreign stocks, for example? Well, firstly, for foreign stocks, the tax compliance, the ITR filing is extremely complex, right? And you have a easier way to invest through mutual funds. Now, I don't also recommend direct stocks because there are more than 5,000 stocks. How do you figure out what to buy, when do you exit? And how do you keep up with the changing market trends as well, right? So when you have a simple instrument like a mutual fund, which is highly regulated, managed professionally, has a whole lot of tax benefits, then why try to do this yourself? And remember, this is not your main job, right? Your job is something else, and that's what you need to be excelling towards. So these are a few things. I would always say that the last thing that I would like to say is that if you're not sure about which fund to get into, a simple Nifty 50 index fund is a good way to start your equity journey.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just take that. Himani, tell us if you're earning, because I want to really, let's go to the first question here. If you're earning 80, 90, 1L and you're only managing to save, for example, 20K, 25K in that amount. Question one, would you suggest going to a financial advisor in that amount? Would you suggest someone educating themselves on the internet, trying to get their own knowledge and making their own start?
Well, I think, like ma'am said, they can start with index investing or Nifty 50 investing, but eventually they should go to a financial advisor, a SEBI registered financial advisor, or at least go to a mutual fund distributor, because they are the professionals. Let them deal with the work that they are expert at. If you are going to manage your money, okay, right now you're saving 20,000 rupees, but in a year that 20,000 rupees grows, right? So eventually you will be investing a lot of money in the next 5 to 10 years, and the investment planning has to be long term. Like ma'am said, you need to know what your short term goals are, long term goals are, medium term goals are. I understand that going to a financial advisor and then paying the fee is not in the Indian culture, because we don't accept to pay money for financial advice. What we want is someone to give us advice, and we can do it on our own. So they have to be aware. They can use YouTube, they can use Google, they can use Instagram for financial education only, but they should actually go to the experts for managing their own money. But essentially they should also go there with the preemptive knowledge, so that they know what the financial advisor is talking about. Because even within financial advisors, there can be possibility that the other person is just trying to take money from you, and is actually not giving you the type of investments that will lead you to achieve your own financial goals. So you should be aware, A, by doing all the research by yourself, and then go to a financial advisor to meet your investment goals. But that is something, you know, people don't do it. People will say, okay, I'll do it on my own only. They'll watch 2-3 YouTube videos.
Yeah, because your parents will end up saying there is some chacha, there is some uncle somewhere who will give you the best investment tip, and best to sort of follow them and not
and
go
these
to an
days, you know,
advisor.
Sonal, it's the
That's how it
opposite
generally
happening.
works. Yeah.
They are telling, no, this YouTuber told me this stock, this YouTuber told me this mutual fund. Mom, dad, you don't know anything. I'll tell you where to invest.
Yeah, but Himani, I have to ask you this. You interact with a lot of these young investors. What is the most bizarre request that you've got on in terms of goals that they have, and what has been your advice to that?
Retiring early in their 30s is, I think, like, what do you want to do after your 30s, bro? Like, what is your plan? So usually they say that, okay, I want to retire early, and I imagine they want to retire in their 50s. So I start telling them the 20-year investment plans that they can have. And then they're like, no, I want to retire in the next 5 years. So what should I do now? But my income is only 40,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees. So that is very bizarre for me. Like ma'am said, investment is just a top up to your primary income. You eventually will need to increase your income, whatever it is that you are earning. But they think that by investing in a stock or by investing in cryptocurrency or by doing intraday trading, I will become like a multi-millionaire. And if Himani is not able to give me that information, she doesn't know anything. I know everything. So that is the kind of bizarre request that I get. It's very difficult to tackle them, because it's the mindset problem, and they'll have to change that. Eventually it will come with time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Rin, then quickly, then I want to understand, if somebody is coming to you with a salary of say 40,000, 50,000 per month, it's hard. I mean, these days, you know, to have a lifestyle, to stay in a metro, it is hard, and it's really pushing them to sort of save up and more. What is your number one priority on where the largest chunk of that investment should go?
I think the largest chunk should go into equities. And very often people ask me that what's a good mix to have. And while that mix of how much you should have in debt and equity is really decided by your financial goals, but just as a ballpark, I would always say that you need to have at least 30% of your portfolio in equities. And of course, that's provided you do have long-term goals and that you can hold for the long term. But I think it's very important to have 30% at least into equities if you really want to build some meaningful wealth. Because if you look at most of the other instruments, right, other than gold, I mean, the average return for gold, long-term return is about 9%, right? So if you look at any of the other instruments, they're really not able to beat the 7% inflation that we have on the products that we consume. They're not able to beat that inflation on a post-tax or post-expense basis, right? So certainly it'll have to be equities.
Okay. And let's just go over, Himani, I think we just have time for one last question. So let me ask you, one thing we've not touched on, though we're all women discussing finance early in the morning, is what are there any special benefits in the system when it comes to being a woman? Are there ways that you'd suggest we navigate this?
Yes, I think when we spoke about health insurance or even life insurance, these days the insurance companies want to have more women customers, right? So they are actually providing women customers 10 to 15% discount on premiums. And if you are in your early 20s and you're getting that, you're already getting life insurance and health insurance at 600 to 700 rupees per month, plus you're getting the 10 to 15% discount. So I think within just 5 to 600 rupees, you can share your health risk and you can share your life risk with those companies and enjoy the benefits. Because if you're going to get that in your 30s or in your 40s, you're definitely going to be paying more than 3,000 rupees a month. So that is a benefit that only women have these days. And then second thing is that if they want to invest in real estate, then almost all of the states provide lesser stamp duties to women investors, to women holders basically. So for example, in Delhi it will be different. There will be a 2 to 3% gap, and when you talk about in crores, that 2 to 3% gap is huge for women. So I think these are the two benefits that women should take advantage of if they are going to buy a house in future. And in health insurance and life insurance, it's a must do for them. It's like a no-brainer for them.
It feels like we've only just scratched the surface this morning of a much, much deeper discussion. But Mrinal, Himani, thank you so much for joining us, for giving us this opening into a much, much deeper topic.
Thank you so much, Sonal and Toya.
Yeah, and also helping us understand that. Thank you, and also perhaps helping us understand that there are so many tools out there. The key here actually is to have realistic goals and sort of work towards them. If you don't have them, please take help and fish it out. But it's a good time to make money if you are investing well.
Okay, we're going to head into a quick break. On the other side of the break, we have something particularly interesting, but a big jump from what we were taking a look at right now. A remarkable achievement coming out of Kerala's healthcare system. A doctor who has reversed the 100% mortality rate that PAM will tell you more about it. It's a amoeba. It's a particularly infectious amoeba that had resulted in multiple deaths in Kerala and the world, and he seems to have found a solution. We'll tell you more on the other side of the break. You good?
My dad has won a
माई भाई मैंने भी इस बार SIP करके म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाल तो मुझे ये जानना था कि KYC का चक्कर क्या है।
म्यूचुअल फंड सही है .com या अपने म्यूचुअल फंड की वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पैन नंबर डालो और सिर्फ इतना देखो कि तुम्हारा KYC स्टेटस रजिस्टर्ड है या वैलिडेटेड।
रजिस्टर्ड हो तो
आधार और पैन कार्ड के साथ अपना KYC वैलिडेट करो, जरूरी है और ज्यादा वक्त भी नहीं लगता।
और वैलिडेटेड हो तो
सही है।
सही है माई भाई, अब तक इन्वेस्ट किया ना हो तो
KYC कर लो और मैदान में उतरो।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
What does the constitution mean?
How can we educate a 60-year-old man?
Why beat around the bush? It's time to say it like it is. To brush aside political correctness and present the real picture with clarity and candor. Because there's only one side that matters.
Plain Speak with Shivani Gupta, only on CNN News 18.
माई भाई मैंने भी इस बार SIP करके म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाल तो मुझे ये जानना था कि KYC का चक्कर क्या है।
म्यूचुअल फंड सही है .com या अपने म्यूचुअल फंड की वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पैन नंबर डालो और सिर्फ इतना देखो कि तुम्हारा KYC स्टेटस रजिस्टर्ड है या वैलिडेटेड।
रजिस्टर्ड हो तो
आधार और पैन कार्ड के साथ अपना KYC वैलिडेट करो, जरूरी है और ज्यादा वक्त भी नहीं लगता।
और वैलिडेटेड हो तो
सही है।
सही है माई भाई, अब तक इन्वेस्ट किया ना हो तो
KYC कर लो और मैदान में उतरो।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
one thing and you got the ambulance.
Sam, when you're doing that after.
I want to simply say that I know the whole House will be very concerned at the extremely serious incident that has taken place in Southport. All of our thoughts will be with the family and loved ones of those who are affected. I have been in contact with the Merseyside Police and Crime Commissioner and the Merseyside Mayor to convey my support to the police and our thanks to the police and emergency services for their swift and courageous response. The response to this awful incident is currently unfolding, and the House and the public will be updated in due course.
Minister Tom Tugendhat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, may I start by...
Welcome back. Let's take you through stories from India and across the globe. We're starting with what's happening in the world of Alzheimer's. A new combined blood test has achieved a 90% accuracy rate in detecting early Alzheimer's disease, far surpassing the diagnosis accuracy of neurologists and primary care doctors. The test, which measures the tau protein levels and the amyloid protein ratio, show promising potential to revolutionize Alzheimer's diagnosis and accelerate the development of new treatments.
A new report has the Facebook and Instagram owner Meta under fire for its handling of non-consensual deepfake pornography. The investigation has revealed that Meta failed to promptly remove explicit AI-generated images of both an American and an Indian public figure until the board intervened. The report has criticized Meta for inconsistently enforcing its rules against such content. This highlights the urgent concerns. This is as AI tools make abuses easier and much more prevalent.
Boeing and NASA are inching closer to resolving the thruster malfunctions and helium leaks issues plaguing the Starliner spacecraft. While engineers have identified potential causes and conducted extensive ground tests, the return date of the Starliner's inaugural crewed mission remains uncertain. The latest tests provide crucial insights into the spacecraft's problems, but leave astronauts' launch schedules in a limbo.
An update on one of tennis's greatest, Novak Djokovic has launched his bid for a career Golden Slam. This is with a dominant win in his opening match at the Paris Olympics. The Serbian tennis legend has actually never clinched an Olympic gold. He overwhelmed Australia's Matthew Ebden 6-0, 6-1 under the roof of the court Philippe Chatrier. Djokovic's pursuit of his prestigious title could see him join a very, very elite group. That's if he triumphs in Paris. He'll be able to add a gold medal to his 24 Grand Slam titles.
A new AI project aimed at allowing people to connect with the dead has sparked concerns amongst experts and ethics. Now, the initiative features AI technology that enables users to interact with digital recreations of deceased individuals. The project, exemplified by Apple's new initiative and the controversial Project December, has already led to unsettling experiences, including a case where AI simulation allegedly claimed to be in hell and threatened to haunt its user.
So our person of interest today is someone whose work is hugely inspiring. It's a slightly complicated technical topic. His advancements we're going to break down for you in just a second. We're going to be focusing on something called PAM. This is the primary amoebic meningoencephalitis. We'll break down what it is for you in just a second, but don't let the complex name throw you off at all. We'll tell you a little bit more about it. It's a rare but very deadly brain infection. It's caused by a microscopic organism, and it's often referred to as the brain-eating amoeba. While it sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, it is very real, it's very serious.
Now, this thing called the Naegleri fowleri, I hope we've got that right, is found in warm, freshwater environments like hot springs, lakes, poorly maintained swimming pools. The amoeba thrives in these environments, and when water containing this particular organism enters the nose, it can travel to the brain, leading to rapid and severe infection. Meaning, firstly, stay out of swimming pools this monsoon.
It's very complicated name is why we refer to it as PAM. You'll see it called PAM, PAM, everywhere in reports. And the key is that it's not actually contacted by drinking any kind of contaminated water. It's about the amoeba actually entering your body through your nose. Once it's inside, it can cause inflammation, destruction of brain tissue. It can lead to symptoms like severe headaches, fever, nausea, vomiting. In the advanced stages, you can even have altered mental states, seizures, and even coma.
And the infection also progresses quickly, often within a week, and can be fatal. However, it's worth noting that PAM is extremely rare. There have been 5 cases, including 3 deaths of the infection in Kerala in the recent months, however.
Now, the particular case we're taking a look at today is a 14-year-old teen, Afnan, and it's important to tell you that till now the mortality rate was about 100% in Kerala. This case obviously reverses those fortunes. He survived PAM, and we wanted to speak to the doctor who was behind it, because now he is one of 11 people across the world that has successfully combated this entire disease. So as we speak, the actual mortality rate is about 97%. If you take these cases, we have a very special guest, as we told you already. We have the doctor who pioneered the effort to steer him to safety. This is Dr. Abdul Rauf. He's a consultant pediatric intensivist at the Baby Memorial Hospital in Kerala. Doctor, thank you for joining us this morning. Dr. Afnan is, it's fair to say, the boy who survived. Tell us, what differed in the treatment that you gave Afnan from the kind of treatment others who were trying to fight this case, they received?
Yeah, that's a very relevant question. So here the diagnosis was very early, and the treatment diagnosis was established within 24 hours of the onset of symptoms, and treatment was also initiated. That was the major difference. Second thing is, in the previous cases, a drug called miltefosine was not available. That was also that was ordered by the government during the last case itself. But in last patient, we could give it only for 2 days. For this patient, from day 3 to all other treatment regimen, miltefosine was also available. So if you see, the symptoms in primary amoebic meningitis are very similar to any other meningitis. So most often what happens is, when the cases come in random, we start treatment for a bacterial meningitis. Later, when the patient is not responding, then only we think of amoebic meningitis. By that time, bus would have been gone, because this disease progresses so rapidly that once you get a patient after day 3 or day 4, then it's very difficult to save them, or they don't respond to medications. So the most important was here the early diagnosis and early initiation of treatment.
Doctor, well done, and congratulations on finding a way to actually cure this and get people to survive despite this sort of brain bug, as it is now called. So tell us, how does one identify or do a quicker diagnosis of this disease, since you're saying that's the key to saving lives?
Exactly. So as we discussed earlier, so as soon as if anybody develops any symptoms like headache, vomiting, fever, etc., within 14 days after swimming in a pond or a contaminated pool, etc., there have to be a suspicion of primary amoebic meningitis. And the important thing is that in the routine test what we do for meningitis, primary amoebic cannot be picked up. So unless we suspect it, unless we specifically ask for the history of swimming, it is likely to get missed. So we have to have a suspicion, and we have to order a CSF wet mount examination along with the routine CSF test when you have a strong suspicion of primary amoebic meningitis.
Doctor, tell us, in Afnan's case, we know that he was having seizures before he came to you. That's actually what triggered his dad to actually come to you. How is he now? When we're saying he's cured, is he perfectly all right? Is he healthy now?
So because his diagnosis was very earlier, and he completely started recovering within 1 week of treatment, and he was discharged after 3 weeks of in-hospital treatment, and he came for follow-up after 1 week of discharge yesterday also. He is doing absolutely well and is neurologically completely normal. So if we see the survivor data, many of the survivors have some neurological deficits initially, and that take some time to recover. But in Afnan, the recovery was complete, probably because of the early diagnosis.
You're absolutely right. Meningitis and encephalitis, stuff like that, can really destroy lives even after survival. So that's, kudos to you really for figuring that out. I'm sure the family is very thrilled at this point. Has this given hope to others as well?
Yeah, they were very happy, in fact, and actually he was the only child of them. And once he came and once the diagnosis was made, same time the other amoebic deaths were reported. So they were initially very scared. Later, but we saw him serially recovering, and we ensured them, and ultimately they were very happy. And both the child and parents told that they felt it was their second life. A new beginning and second life. Yeah.
Doctor, we've been hearing Kerala when it comes to PAM, but what is the prevalence? Because this seemingly happened because he was swimming in contaminated water. That takes place across the country. What's the prevalence of PAM across the country? Are you hearing about other cases?
There are some data because these cases occur in random. There are case reports, and if we analyze all over the country, till date there have been around 30 cases reported. 30 cases reported, and in Kerala around 10 to 12 cases have been reported till date. So regarding Kerala, the first case was reported in 2016. Afterwards, it was like one case every year or one case every 2 years. But this time there is a clustering of cases. 7 cases have come from different localities. Now, I just inquired with my doctor colleagues all over the country, and I could find that in Kolkata also, a few days back, there was a report from Kolkata that they have diagnosed 6 to 7 cases in the last few months of primary amoebic meningitis.
All right then, so this could be not just a Kerala problem, it could be other places as well. Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us, and with all the efforts that you have put in. We live in a world where bacteria and viruses are everywhere and fighting harder and harder. The key really is diagnosis and early diagnosis, as has been found in this case as well.
Okay, we're taking you now to our Olympics lowdown. It was a tough day in Paris for Arjun Baboota, who came extremely close to securing a bronze medal. This is in the men's 10-meter air rifle final in Paris Olympics on Monday. Remember, you'll hear the most rifle and athletics updates from India because our rifles and athletics teams are the biggest within our Indian contingent. Now, Arjun has said, by his own admission, fourth is probably, he said, the worst position you can finish as you've got nothing to show for this tremendous amount of work that you've put in to prepare for the Olympics.
I would say that it is what it is for today. If it was meant to be, it would have happened. And somewhere I believe in luck. It was not my day.
Yeah, so heartbreak there for Arjun. But there is not all hope is lost. The day ended with a high with the Indian contingent as Manika Batra earned her spot at the round of 16 in the women's single badminton. With the win, Manika now becomes the first women table tennis player with India to make it to round 16 in the singles of the Olympics. There is also a fresh day, renewed hope for Manu Bhaker today as she's competing in the doubles. Well, Sanjay Suri is in Paris. This is what he's noting.
Day 4 coming up, and India could be looking at another medal, and again from Manu Bhaker, this time in the company of Sarabjot Singh, and that would be in the 10-meter mixed air pistol event. They qualified for that bronze medal match on Monday, and they'll be up against the South Korean team. But not all shooters have got through. Arjun Baboota missed out so very narrowly. He took 4th place in the 10-meter air rifle finals. He started well, he was going great, and then he wobbled a bit at the end. He broke down after that, and it would have been difficult under the circumstances not to have. In the women's air rifle event, Ramila Jindal finished at 7th position. Rhythm Sangwan and Arjun Singh Chima were eliminated. But further now, again on Tuesday, Indian shooters Shreyasi Singh and Rajeshwari Kumari will be in the trap women's qualification round 1. Prithviraj Tondeman will be in the trap men's qualification round 2. Indians, one has to say, are proving somewhat better at shooting with the gun than with the good old bow and arrow. The Indian team lost to Turkey in the men's archery quarterfinals. But a number of individual competitions on Tuesday could still hold out a good deal of hope for India in archery. In the badminton, women's doubles, Ashwani Ponnappa and Tanisha Krasto lost out to the Japanese. They have a final chance of staying in the contest when they play the Australians on Tuesday. The earlier Satwik Chirag double event was cancelled because of an injury to one of the players on the other side, and the two will now play Indonesia on Tuesday. In rowing, another surprise and promising event, Balraj Panwar will be there to watch. He'll be doing the single sculls quarterfinals. In equestrian, do watch out for Anush Agarwala with his horse Sir Caramello Old, India's daring adventure into dressage. It'll be a very determined Anush that we'll see. He's put everything he could and more into dressage. Later also on Tuesday we have some very promising rounds in boxing with Preeti Pawar. She has shown her performance already. Amit Pangal, Jasmine, and then not least who has the nerve to watch what could be another hockey thriller, this one against Ireland. On Monday, India were trailing against Argentina until that last gasp equalizer from Harmanpreet Singh. It was also in the very last stages of that earlier match with New Zealand that India had pulled off that winning goal. This time it was the late but precious equalizer. Both times it was Harmanpreet Singh who scored. So India take on Ireland with some confidence that they can keep their game and their nerve right to the end. But with the need to up the game really, and please don't keep us hanging again until the last minute.
All right, and staying with the Paris Games, so when the Games are happening, the fashion capital of the world, there is bound to be talk about the fashion quotient there as much as there is talk about the medals. Now, Team Mongolia, you must have already seen, a lot has been said about how they have won the internet with their uniform.
Right, it was the coming together of tradition and the cutting edge athletic energy of Olympic clothing that really drew attention. Team India's clothing has called for a lot of flack on the internet, but we'll walk you through some of what's being called the most stylish uniforms from different countries, some of the memes that we're seeing online. Here's a breakdown.
The Paris Olympics 2024 is currently underway with the best of best athletes from around the world winning gold, silver and bronze medals for their outstanding performances. And while all eyes are on the performances, we have also noticed the fashion quotient of the athletes this year, which seems better than ever. Even before the games began, Team Mongolia's uniforms managed to win over the toughest of online crowd in fashion. For the games, most designers took inspiration from their culture, which seems to work in their favor. Team Nigeria's uniforms, designed by Actively Black, feature a combination of athleisure classics such as tracksuits and jersey shirts. The kit also includes Nigerian-inspired garments like senator suits and buba dresses. Team Spain's uniform is inspired by the carnation flower, a symbol deeply rooted in Spanish culture. The Spanish sportswear brand Joma created the team's uniforms. Designer Stella Jean created Team Haiti's uniforms featuring artwork by Haitian painter Philippe Dodard for the opening ceremony. Lululemon contributed to the stunning pattern for Team Canada featuring the country's flag colors. The collection covers all aspects of Team Canada's journey, focusing on inclusivity and adaptability. The United States opted for a classic look, including blue jeans, Ralph Lauren's navy blazers with red and white stripes, and striped shirts underneath the blazers. Italian athletes wore Emporio Armani uniforms as they have since 2012. The beginning of Italy's anthem is printed inside the collar of the polo shirts, and the entire first verse is inside the jackets. For the opening ceremony, French athletes wore burlute white shirts and a midnight blue tuxedo jacket with a burnished lapel in the colors of the French flag. Female athletes had the option of wearing a sleeveless version of the jacket paired with either tailored trousers with trim or an elegant silk wrap around skirt. So, these were some of the most stylish uniforms from the Paris Olympics 2024. Which uniform would you rate the highest in the stylometer?
Next, we bring you a special section on financial markets powered by Money Control Pro. It's Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. So we'll take a look first at GIFT Nifty. It's indicated a muted opening for Indian stock markets. US markets closed with marginal gains. You have earnings of technology companies in particular that are still awaited. Asian markets traded lower in Tuesday morning trade. Crude oil prices as we speak are easing on concerns over softening demand.
Let's look at sectors next. Power utilities are showing strong growth in generation. The shortage in coal supply is gradually easing, and there is also higher power capacity addition and rising demand poised to brighten the growth outlook. Utilities are also opening up new avenues for growth with the addition of renewable energy capacity. Now, log into Money Control Pro to find out more about the power sector and the various other actionable insights on the market. It is the premium destination for all the investing views and financial insights you will ever need, brought to you by Money Control.
Lots of financial advice for you this show. We hope you were taking some of it down. With that, we're going to draw our show to a close. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye.
Today we've spoken about investment. Tomorrow हम retirement की बात करेंगे. But until then, take care of yourself. See you tomorrow. Bye.
माई भाई मैंने भी इस बार SIP करके म्यूचुअल फंड में पैसे डाले तो मुझे ये जानना था कि KYC का चक्कर क्या है।
म्यूचुअल फंड सही है .com या अपने म्यूचुअल फंड की वेबसाइट पे जाओ, पैन नंबर डालो और सिर्फ इतना देखो कि तुम्हारा KYC स्टेटस रजिस्टर्ड है या वैलिडेटेड।
रजिस्टर्ड हो तो
आधार और पैन कार्ड के साथ अपना KYC वैलिडेट करो, जरूरी है और ज्यादा वक्त भी नहीं लगता।
और वैलिडेटेड हो तो
सही है।
सही है माई भाई, अब तक इन्वेस्ट किया ना हो तो
KYC कर लो और मैदान में उतरो।
सही है।
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान से पढ़ें।
I've got one thing, and have you got an ambulance?
Sam, when you're doing that after.
I wanted to simply say that I know the whole House will be very concerned at the extremely serious incident that has taken place in Southport. All of our thoughts will be with the family and loved ones of those who are affected. I have been in contact with the Merseyside Police and Crime Commissioner and the Merseyside Mayor to convey my support to the police and our thanks to the police and emergency services for their swift and courageous response. The response to this awful incident is currently unfolding, and the House and the public will be updated in due course.
Minister Tom Tuganda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, may I start by...
I've got one thing, and have you got an ambulance?
Sam, when you're doing that after.
Hello and a very good morning to all our viewers. You're watching the morning news show on CNN News 18 and I'm Sakshi Singh Litoria here to walk you through the top headlines from the nation and across the globe over the next 1 hour. At the top of this segment, we've got some breaking news now coming in. Well, this is the development over the major landslide that happened in Kerala's Wayanad. We are learning that 2 landslides have happened in Mundakai and Churalmala. Now, the rescue workers are not yet to reach the Mundakai where 1 landslide actually happened. At least 5 people are reportedly dead in this particular incident and many more are also feared to have lost their life, unfortunately. Let's listen into what Veena George has to say.
Can you just tell us what is the latest updates as far as the Wayanad landslide is concerned?
So the landslides occurred in near Mepadi in Mundakai, then Churalmala. So at present, Honorable Chief Minister has decided to send 3 ministers to Wayanad. O Kelu, who is in charge of Wayanad district, and then Sri A.K. Shashindran and also Revenue Minister Sri K. Rajan. So they are on their way to Wayanad. And health department has opened control room there, and the nearest health center there is Mepadi CHC. It's a community health center.
Have our rescue workers been able to reach Mundakai? Because from the locals are saying they have not yet been able to reach there, ma'am.
Yeah, it's very difficult for the rescue workers to reach there, but they are trying, and a control room is opened here in the state, and Chief Secretary is coordinating the rescue operations, and also and additional teams will be sent to Wayanad.
Ma'am, at present, what is the loss of life looking like, ma'am? Do we have any details on that?
Unfortunately, we have received 5 bodies, but hundreds are trapped under the mud. So rescue operations are being done, and we are trying to save all the lives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some more breaking news now coming in. We are learning that Prime Minister Modi has spoken to Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan over this tragic incident that transpired there. Of course, Prime Minister Modi has tweeted about it as well. He has written that spoke to Kerala Chief Minister Shri Pinarayi Vijayan and also assured all the possible help from the centre in the wake of the prevailing situation here. We'll bring you more details with regards to the tweet that has been made by Prime Minister Modi and the conversation that he had with Kerala Chief Minister. We have CNN News 18's Aman Sharma joining us on the broadcast. Aman, a very good morning to you. Please walk us through the detail that we have about this conversation that Prime Minister had with Kerala Chief Minister.
This big tragedy which has happened in Wayanad due to the landslide, the Prime Minister today has spoken to the Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. He has assured all help from the centre to Kerala to deal with this tragedy, to deal with the rehabilitation, the rescue efforts. The Prime Minister has also spoken to the Union Minister Suresh Gopi, who is also the BJP MP from Kerala,